From the heart of Maine, this is the DuView Podcast.
And welcome to this week's episode of the DuView Podcast. I am your host, Du, a.k.a. Ryan Dumont, and this week is actually a pretty special week's podcast here. I'm joined by my first non-Mainer guest here. The first Masshole has entered the studio, my best friend, my brother, Chapman, Chappy. Thank you for coming on. And also featured in the studio today, we have sitting in from episode 2, Lou is back. He's hanging out in the studio somewhere. We'll go find him at some point, probably dig him out of a box or something, but we'll find him at some point. But Chappy, brother, thank you for making the trip up here, and thank you for coming on, more importantly.
We podding today, boys. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, brother.
And girls. All inclusive, baby.
So, to kick it off with Chappy and myself, we met in college back at good old St. A's, like, many of the guests who will probably be on here, but many not at the same time. Hallelujah, right? So we have Chappy on here. We met at St. A's. What was that? Probably 8 years ago now? A few years ago now. It's been a while, you know. So
right about, dude, we were children. Yeah. Like we still are children. Don't get me wrong.
But we were very much babies back then.
Now we're just little man children.
Yeah. When they get out of school, they're like, "Oh, you're an adult now," but you're not really an adult.
Dude,
no.
I have been out for how long now?
2 years.
Still feel like I just walked across the stage.
Yeah, no, it does feel that quick. Lou, what about you? What about you? You feeling like you just came out? Yeah, same. All right, so Lou's on board. But anyway, yeah, no, that's the real kicker though. It feels like we've been out for a long time, but we haven't been out a long time.
College also went by super quick.
Yeah, that's true too.
The Ronies also happened.
Yeah, that's true. Corona did take a lot of time off.
We need to talk about that, dude.
No, I know.
Shout out to all my frontline workers.
Most definitely.
Respect.
Most definitely. Yeah, without them, we wouldn't be, still chugging along here. So, Chap, when thinking back, we were young, learned some things along the way here. But what stood out to you the most, if you think back to our time, or what things stood out the most? You know what I mean? Like, looking back.
I mean, we were kids, bro. Like, in just an existential sense of the word. I look like just the growth. Like I look at you, like I'm sitting here, like eye to eye.
Right.
I'm like, this dude's a man now. You know what I mean?
Trying.
We're all striving, bro. As long as you're doing better than yesterday, that's it. Compete with yourself.
Most definitely.
That's the thing. Past 2 years have gone by so fast 'cause I've just been competing with myself, bro.
Just trying to better yourself, be better than that. No, that's definitely true. And I would say, looking back myself, is definitely, I agree. Just like as you look at me, I look at you, and I would say growth similarly. Not to just cop out and steal from you, but in a serious sense that like there has been a lot of Chappy growth. You know what I'm saying? Just like there's been a lot of growth. And like that's important too. Like I think that especially going off to school, right? If you don't go off to school and change a little bit, I think you miss something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you didn't. I don't think you got the full experience.
I love.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
I'd say one thing that I've learned is not to say that I've taken it for granted, but like I miss waking up in Hill
you mean
218
on my couch or on my beanbag?
I miss waking up. You know what I mean? In the beanbag.
Yeah.
Rip to the beanbag, but it's just like it was.
Yeah, we got to tell the beanbag story later.
Absolutely.
R.I.P. to the beanbag.
It was just that goonish little dudehood in the purest form.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. Yeah, and it was just but the ease of access to each other too, right? Like Hillary, when we lived in that building, you just lived upstairs.
Yeah, at least
right?
I lived upstairs. Nobody came upstairs because you guys were right across the hall from each other anyway.
Right, yeah. The other part of the friend group lived across diagonal in the hall, and so literally, but our room, Even when Luke and I first moved in together, our room became like I always tell people Jerry's apartment on Seinfeld because fucking Kramer just come. You are basically Kramer. You just come. Hey, you won't believe what just happened.
But yeah, I always walk in with some stupid look on my face.
Or we come back. I come back one day. Chap's sitting in the beanbag. Basically, might as well have been drinking one of my beers and playing my Xbox. Like it's like, no, by all means, make yourself.
Like I just casually, I'm like, yo, what's this sticking out of the couch? Pull out panties, bro. No names, but it's like we're absolute.
Yo, that did happen.
gremlins.
All right, to give context on that, so we had a.
I'm sorry, this
20
is NSFW.
So 21st birthday party. There were some folks staying over, sleeping on the couch. Won't name names. You know, you got to keep that anonymous, right? Allegedly, this all happened.
I haven't said a thing.
So no, there were some folks that stayed on the couch, and you know things happened, and so we were sitting on the couch the next day, and like, weren't we dog sitting, and the dog found it?
It was Ashley's dog.
Oh, true. Yeah, we were dog sitting, and the dog like starting burying its nose in the couch, and we're like, boy, what do you got there? And then Chap goes over, and the dog has a pair of panties in its hand, and
smell something fishy.
Yeah, smell. Oh man, this is the R episode of the DuView podcast.
All right, I'm
I
done.
love it. No,
I'm done. That's who I am, though. There'll be a few more throughout.
That's
but,
awesome. No, that's awesome.
But I'll keep it to a minimum.
All right, Afro Man. That's so funny. All right, but anyway, yeah, the dog.
I'm a comedian, bro.
Yeah, the dog. The dog.
Hippie
made
Pete
it.
Davidson, some shit.
Less tattoos though.
Yeah, no tattoos.
And better
'cause he's getting
eyes.
rid of his.
And better eyes.
And way better eyes.
No
Thank you.
No butthole eyes.
Thank you, beautiful.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, the dog made a discovery, and then Chap pulled out said discovery, and so we sent them back. They ended up going. I'm pretty sure going back, didn't they?
They got to their owner.
Yeah, they got
Yep.
back. They got back home. So
through the chain.
through the mail, through the wire, right? Yeah, so that's just one of many interesting stories that, or one of interesting times that occurred while we were at St. A's.
You can cut that whole thing. Not actually.
No, you're good. This is funny as hell. No, you're good. But while we were at St. A's, we did study a little bit, believe it or not, Chappy. And did you come in undeclared?
Yep, I was undeclared until I had to declare. Not out of a place of procrastination, but out of a place of appreciation, I think. And it was just like,
You want to expand on that, by what you mean by appreciation, my man?
just like I knew I was someplace special
Right.
when I was there. I just didn't take as much pride in it as I should. Like everybody else is being their little family, and it's just like, dude, I've always been
Right. I get
like
you.
the nomad, but like the appreciation.
Sorry to stop, but that's a good descriptor. You have like you've been there, but you've also kind of bobbed.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
I have my place. It's not even like the places I call
Right.
home. Like I have my people I call home. It's,
Right.
I associate
yes,
myself.
That's the great way to put
It doesn't matter where
Yep.
but that's the thing, bro. Is you think of Hill 104, like you think of like that
L12. You think of
L12, Dom 324, bro.
Dom 404 also.
It's like it's having
324 NHL.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Chell
get
tournaments, Patriots
sauced in
games,
Shell 15. Talk to me.
flipping over.
That was when I was not losing too.
Play.
I taught Luke.
how to play Chell. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, but like it's that camaraderie. It's the fact that we've managed to do that in so many
Right.
places for such a consistent like level. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, most definitely.
Like not
most
to say we're the
definitely.
most high energy group, but just we go out and get it. You
Right.
know what I mean? We have a good time.
Right. No, and we definitely do. Right.
But back to the appreciation part, it's just
Yes.
like I had so many choices. Like you know what I
Right.
mean? I did my finger in everything. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna take this architecture class. Like who knows?
And you had a great time with it.
Come
too.
out of
Yeah.
design, like you know what I mean? Come out
Why
one
not?
of those,
Yeah.
one of the artsy chicks. Because that's the thing is, I realized, it's a great place to discover yourself.
Yes.
A
yes.
nurturing environment that.
Safe environment, most definitely. That there
Not to
aren't.
sound like I'm soft.
No, you're not. That's completely respectable though. No, but if you feel like if you're comfortable, no, not even just like soft, but comfortable. comfortable in the sense that you feel like you're ready to take a risk. Like, I mean, I took a graphic like Photoshop class and that type of thing, and like I didn't start with a lot of knowledge with that, right? Similar to like you with like your architecture class, right? But like eventually I learned how to like and ended up being really good at restoring old black and white photos. Like, I mean, you saw what I did with that, you know.
Yeah.
That's just like something that I never thought about. Like, but you have to feel like you're comfortable enough to try that.
Like I can go to Rome and I can tell you what that pattern is. Like I can,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah, yeah.
describe that pillar to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let's go.
But and ended up business and econ just
Yep.
because I thought for what like kind of a forward thinking aspect while also, you know, trying. Business is easy, dude. You spread yourself, you cast a wide net, you know what I mean? A business degree really is important. I'm not saying you're going to go be an MBA or whatever, but just having a general sense of business and how you can create your own enterprise.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that definitely fits you. You're definitely a self-starter type, and I mean like you'll advocate for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an important skill to have in that field, you know
That's
what
the
I'm saying?
thing, dude.
It's so funny to see you and Jimmy Talalis talk about finance with each other because you're like, it's kind of like you just sit back and watch the two finance bros talk about stonks
Nah,
and
dude,
stocks.
because I
and-
know what he's going
Right,
through. It's
no,
coming.
exactly.
It's like
You
shout out to
sympathize.
Jim
Yeah,
Talalis.
also,
Honestly,
shout out to Jim Talalis.
thank you, James.
Bless
But
you, Jim.
just watching him go through it, like CFA exams, you know,
Yeah,
you
you
have
passed that.
pass. He passed one.
Yeah, one.
He
well,
passed. You
one-
have two
one
more
of,
to go,
yeah.
kid. It's like you're spending hundreds of hours studying for these things. 3 exams you have to pass in succession. You become a chartered financial analyst. Blah blah blah. Like
There's tiers, right?
long story short, a lot of energy towards 6 figures, but like
But 6 figures.
cost of entry.
Right.
If you're thinking about it from a monetary perspective, obviously I am not. I'm just long story short.
Right.
Like you are set in a career for. Because that's what I think of when I think of my own enterprise. Like at some point, I can see myself telling people how to move their money. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
no, most
Legally,
definitely.
by
No,
the
no, yeah.
books. You know,
But also illegally in places that we never heard about.
offshore accounts. You know what it is? Crypto.
Holding corps. Crypto. Yeah. Buy the dip.
I've been banking in Doge
Doge.
and Doge.
And Doge, yeah.
Quick flips on Doge. Don't lose your money though.
Yeah. Hey, free advice, guys. Tune into the DuView podcast for all your cryptocurrency advice. But I'll be honest with crypto, I have the basic.
We
idea.
are
Yeah,
not
this is
registered
yeah,
financial
we know
professionals.
nothing. We know absolutely nothing. Disclaimer. All
But
right.
also, my
Yeah.
past performance is not indicative of future results, and I will be performing stellar in the coming years.
Most definitely. Oh, that's too funny. But if you had to go back, thinking about St. A's one last time, if you had to go back there and change something, what would you do? What would you do differently? And I mean, feel free to ask me the same if you like. Happy to answer that.
Bro,
But
you first.
you for
No, me. I'll answer the question myself. Like, is that a valid answer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hindsight's 2020. Knowing then what I know now in
Yes.
terms of from a personal growth standpoint, bro. If I could have been this light, like my friends who I talk to, they know who they are. When I tell them that I feel like the moth attracted to their light,
Mhm.
like I'm trying to be their light, just be that bright kind of a person. I wish
Yeah, you
I'm
want
striving.
to bring joy when you're around them. You want to make sure your presence is bringing something positive in that relationship. Most definitely.
Yeah, and like I'm just striving towards that for
Right.
everybody that I love, like for you guys, you know
Yep.
what I mean? But I wish I could have done that sooner.
Okay.
Because that would have it would have improved quality of life for you guys immensely. You know what I mean? But
I get
also
you. No, respect. With all due respect, I get you. Yeah.
but also just opening doors. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like
get
I
you,
was
yeah.
I've been cold for too long.
But that's something that takes time to realize too. You can't be too hard on yourself in the same right, Chappy. Like you have to look at things. Like we've known each other X amount. Like I feel like I've known you guys my whole life, and it hasn't
Exactly,
really
dude.
been. It hasn't really been that long. It's been.
We know what we need to know.
Exactly. No, and that's the thing. So and that's the way I look at it too. And nothing against my friends from home. Love you guys immensely. But it's different when you're in a geographical area with people, right? Like
Correct.
you find different groups because you live together, right? But when you go to college, you actually, there's more of an active choice in who you want to be around, right? Like you don't even at a small school like St. A's, if you don't want to be around somebody, realistically, you can go more or less out of your way to avoid them, right?
Yeah, you go sit on the other side of Dave.
Right.
Like
yeah.
that's
or
the
you
petty.
Can, yeah. Or you. But yeah, exactly. No,
That's
most
the stuff
definitely.
about the school that was not.
Right. But anyway, that aside, my point being is that you have to take time to realize that you have an active choice in who you want to be around, right? And you get to pick your friends for the first time, like really pick. You know what I'm saying? Like whole new atmosphere, like blank slate, like like you meet people through doing community stuff when you're at home and other stuff like that.
Jazz band for you,
or like jazz band or whatever. I mean, like most of my friends that I have, from home, we all did scouts together. That was our common denominator, and we had similar activities from there. Like I mean, like what, like I think 4 or 5 of us are Eagle Scouts. You know what I'm saying? Like we all just went through the journey. That's a big journey to go through together.
Pledging is a happy time.
There's no hazing. I promise.
I know.
We had a great time. Like I know like people are like really like stereotypically, especially like when like oh, you were in Scouts, what were you, a nerd? But like we weren't. We're just like outdoorsy kids. You know what I'm saying?
Just dudes.
Like yeah, just dudes being guys, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, like, again, with friendship, like you get an active choice in college.
Dudes with integrity, dudes with brotherhood. You know what I mean? We stood there because we knew who
we wanted to be around, and we had, like I said, we had an active choice of that. And like I won't lie, like you and I had moments of rockiness in college, like early on, like there was a little uncertainty there, and I'm glad that we realized and came to a point like I value this person enough that I'm going to do what it takes to like be friends with him.
What were we fighting about?
I don't. Probably stupid shit.
Nothing.
Probably the housing lottery. That was one thing. Like
I
know where that freshman year housing lottery.
You think so?
Because I think Jake Bass, me, Jake Bass, and Luke were supposed to live together.
Oh yeah, we were trying.
Trying to get, and I think we would have pulled it off too. I think our numbers were just like we had like 2 of the best numbers. Like if you haven't been to college, housing lottery is one of the more cutthroat moments, especially at St. A's. Hey, St. A's, if anybody from St. A's is listening, administration, you have a housing crisis. You can't force people in rooms that are supposed to be doubles to be triples. That's inhumane.
Yeah,
as an alumni,
we only say these things from a place of love, dude. Like,
yeah, it's gross. Sorry, quick tangent there. That's disgusting. So if anybody from St. Ansel administration's listening, fix the housing crisis. Boo. Anyway,
I'd be down to address that, but we don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to. But anyway, but the fact of the matter is, when we're there, you get to pick. And for me, I'd have to say if I could go back and change something, it was just taking advantage of just more stuff. Like I did quite a bit of things, but there were like other things that I could have done, like. Or like
you were
not
in
even
there like swimwear though. Don't sell yourself short. Like you were doing your thing.
No, I was, but I don't know. There were other things that I wish I could have done that I didn't get. Like I wish I studied abroad.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Cuba, so I got to go to Cuba, but
you had experiences.
Exactly, and I did. I really did, and I still had experiences because I stayed. Like with Luke being gone, not having a roommate, that changes the whole dynamic of college.
Snow days,
yes. We had Chap and I had too much fun on snow days. That's all I'll say to that. We did study, but snow days were fun. Anyway, but remember when they built the fort? The boys, James Bloor and all them, built the fort outside. They had a fire going in like a trash can.
They've always been absolute
hooligans. I love it.
Brett, Felipe,
I love those boys.
Bloor,
Emmett was still there too. Yes. Oh my God, that was too priceless. And yeah, Felipe and James were our neighbors. That was awesome. Like, yeah, they're like, guys, come out to our snow fort.
Ocean.
Yeah, Ocean too. They had a beer pong table, like they built out of snow, and they put a piece of plywood on top of. And they had the fire going in the they were burning. I think a chair of some kind.
We shouldn't be talking about this.
Whatever.
Why are we blowing up the spot, bro?
Whatever. They can't prove anything now.
They're still paying off their student loans, bro. Add it to the tab. I'm paying mine off. We're in over our heads right now to be worrying about.
It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, yeah. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. We're fine. But while we were also in college, Chap and I took a couple trips together too. Went to a few Red Sox games and whatever. But honestly, some of the most fond memories of a trip were when we went to New York City and watched the Red Sox play the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, because it was actually cheaper to do that than to do it at Fenway.
Yeah, because they were hot that year.
Hot. They won the World Series that year.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We were there. Benny's smacking,
tendies, dude.
He's smacking 3-run shots. Like, he literally 6 runs between him and I'm sitting there probably one of 6 Red Sox
We were
fans.
dapping up the guys like 3 rows in front of us over a sea of Yankees fans because we were the only Red Sox fans around in the stadium. Actually, the guy next to us was the Orioles fan.
Orioles
and they
fan.
were they still suck. But he was like, "Yeah, we're in last place. Like, yo, brother, I feel your pain."
That's
like, there was a little
what
bit
I'm
of he
saying.
offered to buy us a beer. Like, it's
We
like-
were underage.
We were underage. We didn't take it. We didn't take it.
No,
though.
obviously
we
not
were
because
good.
we're men.
But it was so funny. The guy's
Integrity.
just like, "Yeah, like my team sucks. I'm here because my wife's a Yankees fan." And we live in Maryland. Do you guys want a beer? And we're like, nah, we're good, man.
He was there. He was
there showing up.
I was definitely appreciative that he was there, an impartial third party, just to laugh at
most
everything.
definitely.
There was who else? Who else? Some notable?
Oh, the clown in the what was he wearing? A Knicks
the Knicks
jersey?
bro, and he's yelling at me, "Yo, was Ortiz playing today, kid?"
Yeah, Chap was wearing
No.
an Ortiz jersey.
Is
yeah.
fucking Nate Robinson, whoever the
Is
hell
Action
it was.
Bronson sitting courtside at the Knicks game? Shut the
Yes.
fuck up. Like,
Dude, but good day. Kid at Central Park,
yo, that
ripping
was
into you.
That was bullshit. So I was wearing. What was I? I had a
Patriots. You were in some
2001
Pats shit.
World Super Bowl shirt, AFC Championship Super Bowl shirt, and a backwards Red Sox cap. And then Chap had on like the David Ortiz like deluxe All-Star jersey.
It's just some like old All-Star game or like
Okay.
ALC champ.
But anyway, regardless, we had on
BS.
our gear walking around Manhattan because we had some time to kill.
It's a youth jersey,
Yeah.
definitely. Exposed.
But anyway, we're just walking down the street and I don't even know this what was he like maybe all of 6 years old.
Yeah, he was a young
Yeah,
man. It was
Young
him, his
kid
little
and
brother, his
and
dad,
maybe
or-
another sibling, and he just like chirped me. He just like looked at me. He's like, "What? You think they can actually do something tonight?" And I was just like, "Excuse me."
Yeah, and
Like,
the dad's like, "Hey, no, you got to do it like that." No, the dad was nice, but it's just like,
I got chirped by a 6-year-old on the street.
and Pops is sitting there like, I appreciate the chutzpah, but
Also,
these are people too.
This guy's gonna like I'm gonna be honest. If the dad wasn't around, I would have punted the kid across the street.
Calm down.
I would have sent him.
Oh,
Hey, it's
You
in New
little-
York. It's summertime. It was humid as
You little rascal.
hell. It's just it's
just like
It's one
throw
of
him in
those
a
things.
puddle or
Yeah.
something. Friggin' go buy a hot dog load it up with mustard and then throw it at him. What about DJ Kenny?
Also,
Shout out to DJ Kenny.
Chap got convinced to buy a CD off the streets, off of a really very nice salesman, very very convincing.
Bro,
right?
I was giving him money regardless. He saw I had exposed. Like
Yeah.
he saw I had a blue face in my pocket,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yo, you trying to buy my mixtape?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Out of 5."
But it
And I'm
wasn't even his mixtape. It was some guy.
You think he's
named
flipping them?
DJ Kenny. He was not DJ Kenny. He introduced himself as something completely different. It was like from 20. It was a mix from 2013.
I wasn't paying
It
attention.
was like DJ Kenny. It was ridiculous.
I was
We
looking
put
at
it in
some-
the car. There were only like 2 tracks on it.
Nah, dude, that thing was loaded. I still have it
Do
in
you?
I still have it in my CD player right now,
Oh my
and
God, go get it.
yeah, I'll go get it. But I came up here. I was driving through the Dirty Lou. Rude Boy came on.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What else? What else came on? I think I was in. I probably pulled up right to Augusta and Dumpling and Butter. And dude, it's some absolutely just electric.
It's on. You know it's on. You know
You
what
know-
it is.
You know what it is?
You already know what it is. Yep. Most definitely. Yeah, so I got chirped by a 6-year-old, but we kept walking, and the best thing about that day is that we went deep into enemy territory. Like, it's really, honestly, as a Red Sox fan, as deep as you can go in enemy territory, really. I mean, the rivalry is not as hot as it used to be, but I mean, like, if you think about it, like...
I don't feel terrified going to Yankee
Yeah, I
Stadium.
didn't
Do I
feel
feel
like
like I'll get some funny looks? Yes,
yeah, we did.
but
We did. We got chirped in the stadium. But anyway, like,
Nate Robinson
went
got
deep in-
kicked out.
true.
Kid in the jersey. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
got
No, he
booted, or he
did.
just
Yeah, he
left
did.
mad early because
No, he got
whooped.
kicked out. He was being annoying. They kicked him out. He's being an asshole. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, we went deep in enemy territory. Red Sox win like 10-5, 10-6. Great day,
Correct.
and then go on to win the World Series later that year. Great year.
Remember watching that in L12.
Yep.
It's one of those places with those people.
Yep, correct, my friend. Very much true. I think Risco popped champagne and got it
Yeah.
all over the ceiling.
From Risco, you clown, you hooligan.
Shout out to Nick Risco, I
You
suppose.
hear this, kid.
representing.
You gotta pay their cleaning fees.
No, he cleaned it. He came back. He was a nice guy. He came back and cleaned the ceiling. It's nice of him. I appreciate
will.
it. You know, like
He will.
the effort was put in. You know, he's a good one.
He cleans up his messes to the best of his abilities. I love the kid.
And then Chap and I also went to a Sox game, but my dad ended up winning really good tickets to Fenway. And so
Tony.
we're up at the I don't know. What is that level? Do you know what that level's technically called, Chap? But it has the restaurant and like the dining deck right behind home plate. Like we're literally directly behind home plate.
I couldn't even
And
tell you,
who's
but it's just the
pitching?
open air feel.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And like waitresses will come up and like, what would you like a drink? Would you like food? And, like we dined pretty well.
Yeah.
Very well.
we
And I mean
had-
like, and who's pitching that day? Chris Sale.
Yeah. And
Great
that
game.
was when
Sox
he
win
was
again, but
dicing.
Pre-surgery.
Dicing.
He's back though.
I mean,
Have
is
you watched
he
any of his?
not a
No.
dude? I can't be bothered anymore.
No.
Not that I'm not a Boston sports
Not
fan,
on TV,
but it's just like
just in person or nothing.
in person or nothing.
That's fair. No,
I
that's completely fair. In all honesty.
It's one of those distractions. Not to get into too much about TV and all
right.
that stuff.
Oh,
but
I
it's
get
just
you.
I
I
don't.
get you.
That's something I can hear about. It's
Right.
something I can listen to.
Right. No, you can
know?
catch that after the fact. Like, I mean, the highlights on Sports Center in the morning are enough, right?
It's
Or
just,
that stop. You know what I'm saying?
that's what the math is there
Right.
for. Like that's why I am where I am and in a career path that I'm in.
Right.
The
You're
math.
you're just doing the math. on
Math
stuff
makes
to be as
everything so
efficient
much
as possible.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get you. So instead of spending 3 hours watching the ball game, catch the 2 minutes and whatever. Like you're just not that diehard. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that. That's
Yeah.
fair.
And it simplifies things down. It lets you know as a like baseline, is your team popping this year?
Right. No, most definitely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just one of those things I feel like I can eliminate and try to, you pick and choose what you actively consume or create.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm trying to, the philosophy of living with intent,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Just, you plan your moves and you execute. You don't say something that you're not going to follow through with.
Yeah, that's a waste of time.
And that's it.
I don't have time for people that can't stick to their word like that.
It's just like, I don't say much. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? For all intents
You
and
pick
purposes.
and choose for purpose.
I
and
pick,
time.
yeah, and it's just you guys know, like if I say something at the end of the day,
There's
like
a reason for
I
it.
really do mean it.
So, I mean that's just practical, right? That's just a
The
practical.
easiest
You-
way
I
from
mean,
point
and
A to point
also-
B is
yeah,
a straight line,
straight
dude.
line, exactly.
You'd make some friends because of your
Thank you. Yeah,
bluntness.
no, yeah.
You lose some friends because they
Because-
can't handle the truth or your perception of the truth, whatever you
Fair
want to.
enough. Yep.
If you want to get into semantics, but
Right.
you know what I mean.
Fair,
It's just
but fair enough for the playing the devil's advocate.
you're
Yeah, no.
living life through the collective mind's eye, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of different lenses, I guess, if you want to use it as
perspective
an
lenses,
analogy,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, exactly. Yeah, no, most definitely, and like exactly thinking that, like I said, perception. I've said on previous episodes is talked about that with I don't know if you tuned in to the episode with BL Lippert or not that I had a little bit ago, or last episode rather. It's felt like it's been forever, but it's only been a few weeks. Anyway, fact of the matter is, BL and I talked about that when he was talking about his son. And he said I would have never understood this until I had a kid who had a disability, and he goes now I'm so glad I understand this because it's made me a better person.
absolutely.
And like that's with anything, and I think that's like, and that's I'm so glad he came
BL
on
is
and
a
told
very
that.
strong
Yeah,
man.
he is, and like I'm glad he came on and talked about that with me because like you mean like you
Just to
don't
be able to
know.
talk
yeah,
about
just to
it.
be able to talk about it because like
Openly like that.
I even felt like you be very careful in like how you approach it, right? Like you don't want to say something you don't mean as offensive or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Because again, it's like it's a sensitive topic, and I'm one of those persons that's more than an advocate for folks that struggle through because life's hard enough, but like to have or not even know that you're at a spot or that to know things are harder for you than not for others. You know what I'm saying? Like I have so much respect for those folks.
Just gratitude.
Yeah.
Anybody who
I'm so much more appreciative for being me, I guess.
That's how-
it's just like, and I don't mean that. I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
and that
you
really is that's how you solve the problem, brother. Every problem, not every problem, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Every problem in this world can be solved by gratitude.
Yeah.
If
no,
you just
if you apply enough of it, yeah.
if you realize
Or understanding, right? I mean, like the knowledge of self, knowledge of other is important, right? that also translates into one of our favorite music types. I mean, right? You think about hip hop was founded on the knowledge of self and understanding, right? I mean, like that's important to perspective and being a good person.
Your
too.
reality.
Yeah, most definitely.
And tell me how, I don't know, a Nas, you know what I mean? Illmatic pops up, and it's just
the poet of the streets.
And you hear Juice World, you know what I mean? You hear the same dun 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 dun, dun, and you realize that it's all connected, you know what I mean? But
directly or indirectly, right?
Our modern music as we know it is slowly coming into the point where it's being based off 80s, 90s.
Everything has cycles, right?
Yeah, I think
it's all influence cycle too. I
think that this is a reversion to some sort of mean.
Yeah, I
guess,
mean, but like
cycle.
think about it. Like people like the '80s sound, right? So like think about somebody like The Weeknd, right?
Everything's getting a lot more washed out.
Oh, but like think about it. Literally go from do 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 doop 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 do 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 doop. You know, Take On Me, and then think about Blinding Lights. Doop 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 doop. I mean, it's the same. It's almost. It's like a one-off.
Yeah.
No disrespect by any means. To the production of the writing or the design of that song,
just analyzing it.
But yeah, no, it's just it's pretty close. Like,
because that's the thing.
Get a keyboard, get a a Casio out, and you can pound out the same thing.
I gotta find this. It was some crazy thing. It's thousands or hundreds of gigs or something, but they basically have every chord in music, like chord progressions.
Throughout history.
Throughout history, like every possible, like it's a random kind of
library of just chord progressions.
Exactly, but
archive, really.
It actually, yes, the correct term, archive.
But that's dense, right? I mean, like if you think about it.
Dense. But yeah, it's just it was going off of, it was very interesting. I probably won't be able to find it. I'm sorry, but
that's okay.
It was going off of copywriting music. Where do you draw the line at music being original
versus being sampled?
Being sampled versus being exactly, just because you're the first dude to come up with that catchy progression doesn't
exactly.
You know what I mean? Somebody uses the same one and isn't an original work. And I think
it
subjective.
It's inspired.
In that.
Inspired. See, people get touchy when you say inspired by, right? Like, so
because,
I'm going to use a modern example right now that I see a lot of people like. People are on opposite sides of this issue, is with Greta Van Fleet. They released that new album, right? Sounds a lot like Zeppelin, and and I'm a big Zeppelin fan. I think it rocks,
bro. And
everybody's like, "Oh, this is Led Zeppelin karaoke," blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, these are some young kids that respect the shit out of Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and the rest of and Bonham and the rest of them, and Jones and everybody else involved with that whole crew. And they respect it so much, and they're so influenced by it that they went out and they made a whole album, and are really inspired by that. And it's not like they like just covered Heartbreaker or covered like their top hit or Ramble On or something. No, they went out and made it like Safari Song, Flower Power that are inspired by it. Yeah, they're Zeppelin-esque. I'm not going to tell you that they're not. I mean, I'll be honest. That's what made me fall in love with it in the first place. That really like connected with me with those two songs.
There was a time
for
me where I was listening to Greta Van Fleet and I'm like, is this Zeppelin?
Right.
Like I just for a second in the back of my mind, it's like, wait, this sounds like it, but I haven't heard these words before.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're not Robert Plant's words or Jimmy Page's, writing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not he's not writing the guitar parts for them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, they're not
the same.
Yeah, it's just like I hate to sound like okay boomer, but it is. It really very much is in this case.
Well, that's the thing is you have to be in the middle about it. You have to appreciate where it came from, and you have to appreciate that person. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Greta Van Fleet is
art.
Nothing. They're the same as you. They're a Zeppelin fan.
Yeah, they are.
At the end of the day,
they are you.
They are you. Like, why are you not doing that? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Go out and chase your dreams,
They're not trying to be a
kid.
cover band. I mean, it's their own original work. If they wanted to be a cover band, again, they just play the hits.
Exactly.
It's easy enough. There are enough of them. They'd come in playing Kashmir. They'd come in playing a whole lot of love.
And at the end of
Lemon
the day,
song, but they're not. They're writing their own
And
shit.
at the end of the day, is they could do that all day.
Yes.
Mix up the rotation, and it would just be a completely different experience.
Exactly.
And that's
being
that great of a group.
And that's like, and I mean, like you see that a lot of times, like with other groups that have taken on new people. I'll use two more examples. Queen, along with, I talked about this with Kelly too, back on I believe on a previous episode. We talked about, Adam, what's his face there, being with Queen now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Adam
yeah.
Lambert. Adam Lambert. He
Which
would come to me.
is
But, like, he even said himself, like, there's a great documentary. He even said himself, I'm not trying to be Freddie Mercury. I'm not Freddie Mercury. I respect the hell out of Freddie Mercury. Like, I would not
it's
be
being
where
able
I
to
am
put
without
yourself.
him.
It's being able to put yourself
He's
in that
humble-
position
he's
as a
humbled
fan.
that they wanted him.
Like, I'm here?
know what I'm
question
saying?
mark.
Like, a lot of people are pissed about that they still tour without Freddie. But, like, they love the music. They're doing it out of respect.
They're doing
to
it for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to carry his torch as a band of brothers. That is what you were trying to do.
And that loops back to a previous theme, right? They want to be together. They want to play together, right? They've chosen.
Literally
chosen after years and years. Brian May is like a rocket scientist. He could be out working for he could be running NASA or something. Lord knows. Like,
but that's the thing, dude.
But he's playing rock. He's doing
because
what he loves.
he's
rock and roll.
smart.
He's
a smart man.
Yeah. Yeah, art is important. Thank you, Lou.
That's
just
it. Art's it. I'm saying you can use your 9 to 5, boys. Use your 9 to 5 to fuel your dreams. I'm 24 years old. I realize I have a long way to go.
We do. We don't have, and also
I'm coming at it very green.
Yeah, no, and that. But we try to spread what wisdom we think we have, right?
Yeah, we'll talk out of our rear ends until we realize that.
But for me, it doesn't come from
art's it's a little off tune.
No, right, that's fair. But for me, it doesn't come from a place of trying to be pretentious, though, by any means. It's generally like if I think I've figured something out, I'm
trying to be the change.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, I don't know. I've had a lot of experience in a short period of time, and I think if I, when I tell my story about the places I've been, the people I've talked to, things I've seen, I mean it. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, I know it all, I've seen it all. Listen to me, I'm the all-knowing authority by any means. That's not me, but and I hate being like, you know everything. No, I don't. By no means.
I don't. I'm gonna go read another book.
I can't even do math. You know what I'm saying? I suck at math.
You can do the math you need to do until you really want to invest.
But like
you could be a rocket scientist, dude. You just have to want to be able to do the calculations and put the time and effort that it takes you. You can teach yourself almost anything.
To a point. I don't know. I just struggled. Like when I was in high school, Chap, I struggled. When I got to, algebra 1 was fine. Geometry threw me for a loop. Like I it just wasn't my thing. My brain.
Divine timing, dude.
It just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to algebra 2, and then I ended up taking a chemistry class that required. I think I talked about this previously, but I ended up taking a chemistry class where I didn't have the math done for it, but they didn't. No one checked up on that, and I struggled through that because of the math. The experiments and measuring and all that stuff. I understand.
I was out of chemistry real quick, dude.
Yeah. Did you do calc or anything? I mean, you must have done all that.
Coil. I was already doing calc. I'm pretty sure basic math requirements were not really there for terms of like a business degree, but I had econ on the side.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So
there's math there.
That's where it came in.
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You can't BS your entire way through St. A's without knowing math. It's just the math that you should know,
right?
Given the dollar you are paying for your education, and
right.
I don't know. I know that that's what getting technical and putting time in, and maybe an MBA or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I just think for a highly established and esteemed institution, it's the least they could do.
You think?
Damn. Sorry, but it's just thing. It's I'm saying it out of love. You know what I mean? My sister's there. I dropped my sister off.
Oh no!
I sweat my absolute booty off.
Hiney off to move her in. Yeah.
A hot August 2021.
Isn't it funny that she ended up in?
She ended up in your old place.
In our old apartment. That's funny.
Came full circle.
Yep.
Came full circle, bro. And that's.
Was it weird walking in there?
It was It was such a shock, because she said the code out loud, and I punched in the first 4 digits, and then I paused, and I was just like, I was like, it was deja vu. It really was. I was punched in the first 4 digits, and I'm like, these aren't the same numbers.
No, they're not.
These aren't the same. So it was weird for me. It was a second of like, wait, I just punched in different numbers into this door.
Right.
And then I paused, and I'm like, wait, Hannah, you have to punch it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have been
right. Like,
you have to punch it in. And I walked in kind of sad and kind of humbled. Like I saw everything on the walls. I'm like, Luke and Ryan and Pony and Talalis aren't here. And you know what I mean? It's not just an absolute revolving door of love and.
Yeah, no plants, no tapestry.
Nothing, bro. Nothing to distinguish yourself from any of the other cogs in the machine.
Yeah, unfortunately. When we move into a space, it definitely ends up with character. That's definitely safe to say.
But it's just you feel it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm back there, and it was
It's
just
not the same,
it was
obviously.
an
right?
overwhelming sense of just like community. At the end of
Yeah,
the day,
no,
I
most
hate
definitely.
I hate it took me so long to acknowledge that.
Yep.
But in the sense of all my loved ones are here. It's just like it was.
No, exactly, and that's how I.
Tell me it wasn't destined for my sister to get the last fupper as a junior
Right, in that apartment, right?
in that
We're
one.
we're looking out for somebody. We're throwing some juju somebody's way. You know what I'm saying?
What are the odds? Math is amazing. Divine timing. That's it.
Something.
Whatever you want to believe
somewhere, somebody somewhere.
in. You just
doing
have to have
something, right?
to have faith, dude.
No, you do most definitely.
Just acknowledge your differences.
Mhm.
Make it easy.
Without a question.
Why am I popping off right now?
You're doing well. Appreciate it. Oh no, we're good. No, Chap, but that's the interesting thing. I felt the same way. I was just gonna let you pause there. I felt the same way. It was hard. The hardest part of college was the last day, graduation day. Is when you go back up to the. So when you graduate from St. A's, we all were there for senior days. So we're staying at what were there 2 or 3 days before graduation. Couple days. We're around doing different activities.
Nothing's
and stuff
there,
like
and you're
that.
sleeping in a shell of
Yeah,
your
you're
home.
sleeping in a shell of your home, but still the people are there.
Yeah.
The last night you're just sitting around talking with people. Like you're pulling up chairs.
I'm sitting
tables, floors.
I'm sitting on the giant lawn table that.
Yeah.
Who brought that back? Somebody brought back the lawn table.
Nah, they just dropped it in the basement.
Oh, they didn't.
They didn't bring it back. They just brought it to the basement.
I still have a video of Pony absolutely.
He almost went out a window.
He almost went out a window, but remember when he tried to dunk?
Ball. Yeah.
Yes.
And I have an aerial view of him slamming his head off the table and then sliding almost.
Out the window.
This will be posted on the DuView Instagram page. No, but yeah, you know what I mean. Just
Yeah,
absolute.
I get you.
It's a shell of your former home. You still manage. We had one of the best nights ever up there, and it was how many of us? 10 of us? 12 of us?
There was probably close. I think there was close to 20 at one point. I mean, there was quite a few people.
Yeah, but the core, you know what I mean?
At the end of the night. Yeah, no, at the end of the day, the core people, the people that needed to be there were there. I didn't feel
grateful for everyone in that room.
No, if you were there, you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? That was there was some good I'm trying to think of the right term. There was some good. I don't want to say wisdom, but there was some good conversation I had. That's how I'll put it. I really can't describe it anyway. There was just good conversation had. Really just wholesome, touching. You know what I'm saying? Every word meant. The people that if you opened your mouth that night, if you were saying something, you weren't just saying stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? You were saying something with meaning because you cared about the people who were in that room. You know what I'm saying?
It was when we realized symbolically we had to grow up. On an existential term, you're still kids.
Right? When that sun rises, when they read your name. When your name is read, you're gone. You're done.
You're washed up.
Done.
Not actually.
Not
Shout
really,
out to all the seniors that are coming in this year. Shout out to the ones that just graduated. You're not washed up.
No,
you know what I mean?
Make the best of it.
I've had an absolute doozy the past 2 years, and that's the thing. It blinks. I've met a lot of great people.
Yeah. Being out, has it been hard for you?
Being out from COVID?
College.
Oh, from college.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, dude, is...
And you can quantify or qualify hard as...
For me, no.
Anyway, no.
I sat there. I've always been very, you can call me stingy, whatever you want. I think more frugal and responsible.
Thrifty and responsible.
You know what I mean?
Perhaps in some ways.
My money longer because I stretch it.
Right.
In a sense. And...
You're just being practical with your money, too. Right.
I graduated, and I was still paying, you know what I mean? My parents helped me, I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I'm...
Most do.
The exact demographic of human to go to that school who was an absolute... I was on the lower spectrum.
There were two groups at St. A's. Those of us that got financial aid, and those of us whose folks were paying
Yeah.
paying the whole shaboodle.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I'm not saying
No, I'm just saying that's how it was. You know what I'm
I
saying?
paid off a lot of money.
Don't
in
get
the
me wrong.
very-
There were folks that paid their way, but there was but they still financial aid, right? I mean I got a presidential scholarship. I mean I'm not
Bro,
ashamed
we
of
all
that.
we all got scholarships. Everyone that we associated with was
We were all
some form of an academic.
Well,
You
I'll
know
just
what I
say
mean?
we were all of a similar social economic class
Disposition.
too, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's depending on geographic location too. Like we had friends that came from very rich. Well, I'll say not to be stereotypical rich white areas, right? And I mean, then you have folks that are from more poorer white areas, and it's a different type, and whose parents are more white, white collar workers versus whose parents are more blue collar workers. It is different. Like I know there are times that me and some of our other friends, and you probably know who I'm talking about, didn't always see eye to eye on
Mhm.
like hard concepts of hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Not just sitting there and like pushing a pencil or no. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying. But like some days you just have to put in the work. You know what I'm
You
saying?
have to do the thing
Do the
over
do,
and
yeah.
over again
Do the do.
because hard work beats talent, bro.
I think
Talent's not working hard. I know, whatever. But I realize
drop real quick.
I realize that about myself, dude. It's just if I got off my rear end and did some of the things that I really need to do in this next phase of my life.
Right. No, I get you.
But it's just
But
I'm very much
what
a
do you
set
think
'em.
that is?
I'm very much a set 'em up and knock 'em down kind of person.
Mhm.
Right now, I have been absolutely snowballing money and my student loans.
Yep.
Because I hate to break it to you, kids. I don't think he's forgiving your loans anytime soon.
No, he's
I
not.
think he's gonna
He's
dangle.
not.
I think he's
No.
gonna dangle that bag in front of your face for the next
Until
three
it's not convenient.
for the next 3 years, and then he's gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get to it." You do realize that with eviction moratoriums,
Oh, that's going to be ending soon.
you
yeah.
can't forgive $50,000 of student loan debt while simultaneously. That just
Yeah, I'm not saying I have. I'm not advocating for either. I'm not advocating for landlords. I'm not advocating for tenants. We're just stating the facts of the matter.
third eye perspective.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
bird's eye
We're
view.
impartial.
I don't rent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, I live at home proudly as a newly 24-year-old man.
most.
I
do.
live at home with my parents. I love my parents very much. I'm very grateful for them.
Yes, you are.
Anybody in the area, Taunton,
Funny,
Massachusetts,
yeah.
feel free to come out and spend a day by the pool on a hot August afternoon.
Pool is nice, and throw frisbees for Hirsch.
02780.
Yeah.
Come up.
Chap has this wonderful dog.
Dude, I love she's
Hirsch.
the love of my life. She's the love of my life.
Loves frisbees.
When I say set him up and knock him down,
Yeah.
that is the woman that is the apple of my eye right now.
Yep. Nope. I get it. I can't blame you.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah. No. It's one.
I can't put all
It's the same love.
can't put
No,
all that
it's-
positive energy into more than one thing.
No, I understand. That's fair.
But also I love each and every one of you.
Right. No, I love you too, brother. I appreciate that. But we have some other, similar interests, buddy, and definitely as I mentioned earlier, hip hop music's one of them. Do you mind telling the people, if you don't mind, because I think this is a cool story. This is one of the cooler stories you've told me. Is didn't you meet Big Crit in Cambridge and like stay in a mansion, and it was an interesting evening.
It's
So for those that don't know, Big Crit is a rapper. Chap will go into more detail, but continue, my friend.
It's nothing like that. Shout out to Stevie J. Shout out to Big Tom.
Big Tom, dude.
Tom O'Hare. But yeah, Steve was just like, "Yo, we're about to go to this." They're my roommates. This was my junior year. I was in Hillary.
Yep.
They're my roommates. I saved them from Mary's essentially because I appreciated
Because
them.
you're a good guy.
'Cause
Good
I'm-
guy, local guy.
I appreciated them very much as people. I knew they deserved better. I said, "Hey, why don't
Yeah.
you come live with me?" So I ended up not having a roommate. My roommate that we went in the lottery with.
Yep. He transferred.
He
dropped out.
transferred,
Oh yeah.
got out of here.
But then you made a mega bed.
I had the mega bed because I said, "Hey boys," I laid it down to him. I said, "I appreciate you guys. Like, thank you for living with me. it's a blessing, but you guys are in that room until I get assigned a roommate, which I unfortunately it happened sooner than I wanted it to, but the mega bed was
Tremendous.
it was glorious.
For
Put to
for,
use.
for reference, the mega bed we are referring to, it is you put two regular college dorm beds together and create basically a, what would that be, like a full or a queen? I
It's
don't
probably
know.
it's probably a queen. What's two twins make a full?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Bottom line being is
Yeah.
it's not glorious, but for those crammed ass rooms, it was like something out of a movie. Especially the female ones. I wish I could have like a fluffy comforter and get away with it, bro, because those things are tight. Oh my god, you got the feathers and everything.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Were you gonna get a bearskin
I
rug
just had-
for the floor?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I wanted to. Unfortunately, I had like the white,
Oh,
the white like the
fluffy,
fuzzy. It wasn't shag, but it was
yeah,
like
I get you. Yo, rugs in college don't survive.
that survived longer than I thought it would. I had that
Right.
since freshman year.
Fair. Yeah, that's a long time to survive, honestly.
I don't think I brought it back senior
that
year.
survived longer than the beanbag did.
Yep,
So before we
my second home.
Yeah. Before we continue with your story, chat, we'll just talk about the beanbag real quick. So I bought this. I needed a chair for my room freshman year, and so I bought this beanbag site really unseen on Amazon. I thought it was more of a chair style one, but
Mhm.
I must have messed something up or something must have happened. I'll blame Jeff Bezos for this one. But anyway, the fact that Jeffrey Bezos. Anyway, anyway, that aside, I bought this beanbag sight unseen on Amazon, and it came in a box, and the box was pretty big. Like I had to like carry it over my shoulder from the mailroom back. Like the people in the mailroom had a hard time getting it up over the counter
to get it through the window.
They had to haul it up like 6 feet into the window. Like
The old
easily.
mail room.
Yeah, the old mailroom, exactly. And so they had to haul that up on the counter, and then I'd like haul it back up to Dom, like on my shoulder, and it was windy, and it was like blowing me over, and I was like, holy crap, what is this thing? Like, this thing's heavy. And so I got it up, and I took it out of the box, and the thing like exploded. It like expanded. And it was massive. Like you could curl up on it and sleep very comfortably. You could sit two people on this beanbag.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could
Many a nights we cuddled.
Yes, we did. It was beautiful. But anyway, the fact of the matter being is that Chap spent many a night on the beanbag as our guest, and
Thank you
it
for
just
your
became a
hospitality.
home for him. And eventually, it almost got set on fire at one point. We were trying to fix a ping pong ball, and you know the trick that you can do, like where you like put it over the lighter and you get the dent out of it. Yeah, that got held too close, and then Jim was holding the ping pong ball and he flung it and it landed on the beanbag, and then he went over and like kicked it off or like flicked it off, like because it like literally it singed the beanbag. I had to like apologize to the beanbag. You know what I'm saying? Like it was pretty rough. But anyway, Chap spent many a night on it, and we have this video saved somewhere. I think I have it on my laptop somewhere of when we had to throw it away because it just they got a hole in it and it got really dilapidated.
Right next to the big
and so there was this big
dumpster.
old dumpster at the end of the year they put out in front of the dorm, and so he gave like the last will and testament of the beanbag, and like people showed up to like give their respects. Like it was pretty beautiful.
I said some gracious words.
Yeah, I thought you if this whole finance
Before
thing doesn't,
taps
like,
happened.
yeah, like I think there were definitely taps. Like it's kind of like a Christmas story, you know, like when the dad buries the leg lamp and Ralphie goes, "I think I heard taps playing faintly."
Factual.
It's the same thing, same energy, same vibes. Really, too bad you missed that, Luke. You were in Europe. Europe.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. Too bad you were in Italy. Oh no. Anyway, the fact of the matter being, like the beanbag was a huge part of our relationship. I know that sounds trivial, but you have that one spot, that one place, and sometimes it's not always the house or the home; it's the things inside of
It was a place for a person. As
a place for a person.
we all appreciate things, it's just why do you appreciate them?
Right. Exactly. No, that's a fair
Very
point.
minimal in that regard.
But speaking of things we appreciate, hip hop. You were saying the night you met Big Crit.
Oh yeah, my bad.
We're good. No, I appreciate our tangents. Don't worry.
But,
I just want to finish. This is a good story. I just want to make sure we finish it.
he was in the Middle East. Steve's uncle, very influential man in
Mhm.
Cambridge.
Massachusetts represent.
Yep. He knows the guy at the Middle East, so he got us in
Nice.
the whole shebang.
That was the club. Is that the club he was
yeah.
at? Yep, the Middle East, which is in Cambridge, obviously. Yep.
He got us in, and it was very, very. We didn't want to like cut straight to the front. You know what I mean? Because
You don't wanna
it's
be
not
those
like
guys, right?
it's not like it's not like it's freaking the Garden or something where
Right,
you're just
right.
standing in the middle, like, you know what I mean? Like either you're at the front or you're at the back.
Right.
And we got in there, kind of slid up right along the right side. Absolutely killer concert for the album Forever's a Mighty Long Time.
Is that your favorite album of his?
It's between that and Cadillactica. I don't know if it was for the time period or what it was, but they're very polar from a sense of a guy from Mississippi. You know what I mean? Like, he goes from that.
Do you mean polar opposites? Like they're so different, or
He manages to portray the polarity of a guy from southern Mississippi in like a traditional sense. He has Bun B, he has Pimp C, he has
the
CeeLo.
he has the Guardians of the South. So
the
to speak.
Guardians of the South, and that's really what it was. Is there were people who opened like he had a Pimp C feature.
Yeah, like that's impossible.
And you get Bun B at the beginning saying R.I.P. to Pimp C was the king of the South. It's just that is a song that goes down for me purely based off what it was. But it goes from like a southern kind of album like that to Cadillactica. He's taken off in his spaceship. It's very kind of extraterrestrial in a sense of kind of like newer trap, I guess you could say, with the same kind of like emphasis on the South. But it's, you know, the intro is called Creation. It's him and then a female character, some would say, you know, the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically wants to create now. And he has to say, like, no, we're not creating yet. And goes off from a story like that, talking about the Big Bang and him, you know, journeying through asteroids, swerving through it.
It's all astral, very astral.
I'm not doing it justice.
Right.
And nothing can
Go listen
other
to
than
it,
listening to it.
Yeah.
If I do mention music on this podcast, I don't
Go
know how much
listen to
longer
it.
we got, but
No,
I'm not going to mention a lot unless it means something to
Yeah.
me. So
No, most definitely you should. No,
and it's good.
And it's good.
I'm not going
I'm
to
also
throw
telling
trash.
you it's
I'm
good.
not throwing trash anywhere, please.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
litter. If I do, I pick it up.
Yep. Leave no trace, brother. Amen. No fines here. No, but so you met him after the show, obviously.
Yep, did the little photo op, chatted with him for a bit. We had to wait in a line, but that was because there were like other like patrons of his.
Right.
But it wasn't like everybody. You know what I mean? Like we waited in line for a couple minutes, chatted with him. Like he was actually talking to people. It's not like he was just.
Oh yeah,
he
thanks for coming. Thanks for
He has
coming.
to get his photos in, but like he kicked it with us. You know what I mean?
Like he like genuinely took interest in what you were talking about.
And Sci-Hi the Prince.
Yep.
That's a cool duo that they.
You didn't get to meet him.
I didn't get to meet him. He was out before because he's low key. I feel like the bigger artist in that scenario, being under Kanye.
I'd say more known. Yeah. Is he on Good Music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a lot.
Who's Crit with?
Crit is his own multi-alumni. It's under some.
Yeah.
But Multi to the Sun Die. He has his own under Sony or something like that. But bottom line being,
gotcha.
He reps it too. He dropped the label just to raise the stock.
That's beautiful. That's
From a male music business perspective, that is a absolute bar.
That's a big ball. Like that's like literally you're giving the finger more or less, really, in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
I mean, like we acknowledge how you do things, and I'm not gonna put up with it. Swoop.
He did what he needed to do with the system, realized how
the system works.
How it works, and he said, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do that's alpha male behavior.
No, I would agree. That's just
or
smart.
Sigma male behavior.
I'd say smart. I think that's just playing the system. If you're going to set stupid rules to a stupid game, I'll play by your stupid rules, right?
Shout out to all the people living on communes.
Real quick.
That's absolutely the most primal way of not living by any of these artificial rules. I'm saying America has to have some amount of a revert to mean in a sense of, like, yeah, flying cars are gonna happen and whatever,
Yeah.
but the way things are going, this kind of has to, like, chill out. You know what I mean? I think people are
We're getting too
fleeing.
big
I think people are fleeing cities, realizing what's out there.
because cities. I see. This is where like I know I'll have to have Luke back on sometime and talk about this in full because like he's like, oh, I want to go live in the city, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to go live in the city. That's just
You
me,
have
though.
to
You know what
go
I'm
in.
saying?
You have to go in. You have to. I'm gonna say it. You have to rape and pillage. You have to get in.
You have to burn like Sherman did. Burn your way to the sea.
Burn your way to the sea. In the sense of that is where all the youth, the culture, the whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
But at the sacrifice of what though?
At the sacrifice of, and that's the thing, dude.
Personal relationships.
At the you
a
know what I
soul?
mean?
I don't know. Where do you draw? But where do you draw the line?
Well,
right?
it's. I mean, I like to assume people are good. I like to give
You
people
hope,
some amount of
right,
credit
you'd
and
like
never
to.
forget their roots. And
Right.
at the end of the day,
Ooh, you mean forget where you come from? Forget what you're about?
that's the thing. Like
I think more. I not to be Nancy negative, but I do think a lot of people do that more often than not. I think a lot of people need to remember where you're from. If you're really have like what they call like small town values or like morals or like some type of code. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying like you need to adhere to one set of like golden rule type, but like
integrity.
yeah, like just like if you like so for example, like I live by a basic policy, and I know you do too. If you're gonna say like let's go to dinner at 6 o'clock. It doesn't mean let's go have lunch tomorrow.
I'm not.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
not
I don't
saying.
know. But you
I'm
know
not
what I'm
saying
but you know
6
what I
on the
mean?
dot.
But
I'm
you,
not.
but you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Though.
I'm
You know
not
what
saying
I'm
6 on the
But you
dot.
mean you're having dinner that evening within a small window.
We
know what I mean?
are going to be at this place at a given time, more or less.
Yes.
We're going to enjoy each other's company. If you don't make it, whatever it is,
Or not even just dating, but I'm saying anything. That's
absolutely.
just
With
like, if you
anybody
can't,
with
if
your
you
boys
can't,
going to
yeah,
the bar,
yeah.
we're
If
gonna be
you
here
can't, but
at
if you can't, if
10:30.
you can't adhere to like a basic like adherence to schedule, I mean, like yeah, you can have a give or take. With there's a courtesy period. You know what I'm saying? But like you got to adhere to some type of like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be a complete flake.
Like Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance, and I took that personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to be somewhat punctual. You can't just be completely. You know
make
what I'm saying?
promises,
Like
bro.
even if you want to be like the farmer still has to go harvest his crops. If not, you'll lose your. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be somewhat. You got to follow
The farmer
some type
just
of
knows
basic.
that the farmer knows routine is
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
than
well, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying though. You get what I'm. You get what I'm poking.
I'm picking
at.
it up. I'm picking
Yeah.
it up. No, for sure. You're absolutely right.
It's just. It's just one of
Ugh.
those things, dude.
No, I didn't mean to. It's just it's so living is automatic if you like with routine. Living is
Well, yeah, of course it is, because you wake up, your alarm goes off at 8. You wake up, you got to make some breakfast, get to work, blah 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 blah, whatever else
and
whatever
not
else
enough
your
people
routine
just
entails,
live.
right?
Not
Yeah.
enough people just live.
Well, I think a lot of can I say one thing I have kind of noticed? I think more people are kind of doing that. Not to talk about COVID, but I will talk about COVID for a minute. In COVID, like I've seen a lot more. Like when I was teaching this last year, like a lot of like parents
didn't
would
see
like
their
send me.
feet.
Parents would send me like notes, like, "Oh, I'm gonna pull Susie out of class on Friday, or Billy out of class. We're going up to camp to go ice fishing, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. We're spending more time together." Like, I'm not saying like take your kids out of school all the time, but what I'm getting at is like people are kind of like living more. You know what I'm getting at with that?
It's just it really is what was needed in terms of the whole
Like people are
Wally-
like camping and going on road trips and like kind of doing stuff together, which is, I mean, not even just families, but like some even like people that live nearby or like friends, even in part.
absolutely
you
just
know?
the whole
I'm
progression
not saying like,
of
but like
things.
yeah, a lot of people are still separate and can't see each other, but at the same time, there are people that have been able to come together though. And I think that's the kind of some type of positive.
It's
You
the
know
whole
what I'm saying?
yeah, because you realize spending time with somebody is the most important thing
Right.
when you're only viewing your entire sphere of people that you interact with on a screen.
Right. Yeah, that sucked.
That
or
was
over like a headset, right? Xbox or
yeah.
whatever medium you're
Because
talking through.
we
yeah.
did respect it. I mean, don't get me wrong. We definitely bent the rules, but like
not to the point where we're gonna risk a mass infection. Or,
Yeah, COVID,
you know
like-
what I'm saying? Like we we were safe.
It's just it's accountability is what it is. Like if you're gonna go be an idiot in Florida in the middle of like April,
Spring
20
break.
like and go on. You have to be willing to take some accountability and say, hey, you know what? I'm part of the problem.
Yep. No, most
At the end of the day, you should strive to be better, but that's at least the start. And don't just go, oh, you're a sissy, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I haven't left New England.
Yeah.
And I really like to, but I just don't quite feel comfortable yet, to be honest. You can't let COVID. You're vaccinated, but like
Delta variant,
it's
man.
just like Delta variant's a legit thing. Like
I don't think you should. I think that you are a specimen. I don't think you need to be concerned about it personally.
right.
I think maybe Tony, if you
But
wanted to go somewhere with
that's
Tony,
that's what I mean when I'm concerned about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not me. It's
because you care, you're a good dude.
I try.
That's both my parents are smokers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very.
I mean, he's got not to disclose his medical information. He's got pre-existing conditions.
Exactly.
He's older. I mean, like it's pops though. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to infect the family. You know what I'm saying? Or
If they're going to Target and walking around without a mask on, it's like, hey, you know what, Mom, Dad, you're an idiot. You can say it to their face knowing that you're saying it's factual.
You're right.
I love you
You have the
guys. I'm looking
science.
out for your best interests.
You're
and-
trying. You're very much trying.
Yeah, but as, a kind-hearted, caring person, you're going to
Right,
not put yourself in the...
that's been my only problem with doing any like big trips. And I really want to. I've been hurting for a road trip or going across the country or doing something for months now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Catch me in a van pretty soon.
I think
Manifesting
that's
that.
the move. I have a lot of plans for a van.
Trying to get a van, and I'm trying to get land.
Yep. Land vans.
That's all I need. If you have vans or land or
Vans and lands. I was thinking honestly, so
carpentry skills,
yeah, no, that too. That too, honestly,
maybe a little bit of electric on the side,
Yeah, solar, hydro. There really are options.
manifest an
You
operation.
just gotta see like you just
or
gotta
even just personal.
but it's kind of like
operations.
thinking outside the box. It's really combining when I think about, really building the ideal home these days with just how everything is. Like you gotta combine some of like the off the grid living stuff with the, other modern stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just go all one or all the other, in my opinion.
A gypsy car.
You're gonna just live in a gypsy car. What are you gonna
If
do?
the-
Yeah, Luke, you gonna buy some donkeys and have them like take you around in your gypsy car?
Luke,
Chap's land.
Luke, I'll have acres. I will have acres by the time I'm 30. I promise.
The road.
We will make the road. We
With
will-
your donkeys and the gypsy wagon, yes.
I could see Luke in a VW bus, but I don't think that would be comfortable. I think that would be a little bit of...
Well, you wouldn't be able to have donkeys in that case, yeah.
I want an electric converted Beetle though.
That would be cool. Yo, they have. I was watching a car
are we
restoration
talking
show
about
the other
cars
day.
for a minute?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about cars for a minute, Chap.
How long?
Luke, that just reminded me. Yo, you can't always hate on electric cars. So this guy I was watching the show has an all electric Mustang, and I'm a big Mustang guy. I love Mustangs.
Clown.
Screw you, dude.
Sorry, I'm sorry. No.
But anyway, so he has an all electric.
I
Mustang.
respect it. You know
The
what I
thing,
mean?
0 to 60, like you get sucked into your seat. You go, zoop. It's just like you're 100. I think he says it does 230 or something like that.
Yeah, I believe it because it's a
Ignorant.
missile, bro. As soon as
It's a silver missile. It's
as soon
a
as
silver
this
bullet or
as soon as
something,
this
yeah.
code got cracked and everybody's just like, oh, well, cars are cars, but they're more toys now than they've ever been.
Yes.
They are. You
You- what-
drive
you-
a 1969 Mustang
You could
fastback.
You could resto mod it. You could keep it original. You have a lot of options available to you nowadays.
Yeah, it's just like these things are literally peak technology.
Oh yeah.
Not that
Or
a
like-
naturally aspirated V8 isn't something to sit there and drool
Yeah,
over.
but the V8,
but
big
it's not
V8s have
cutting
been
edge
around a long
anymore.
time, like don't get me wrong, I have a truck. I have
When you
a
can
V8.
do like
I love V8 technology. It's good. It's like you said, it's been around a while. But at some point, you do. You know what I also think is cool? The F-150 Lightning. It can
Mm.
power your house for like 4 days. Why wouldn't you want that? If you work construction, or anything like
Not
that. Why
bad.
wouldn't you want a truck that can power your entire job site, you boob? Like, I mean, like, seriously, like, it's just like
Utilitarian.
people just resist technology. Like, don't get me wrong. Oh, the lithium, the batteries, the ion batteries, you know, they're worse than the blah blah blah. But yeah, at the same time, you got to just, you know, try new things too. And if it crashes and burns, so be it. But you can't just be a Luddite and just absolutely resist technology either. You know what I'm saying? Not to sit here like
Shout to the
not to
Amish,
sound,
though.
not to yeah. I mean, but they're not
They
Luddites.
have computers,
They're
though.
not they're not Luddites though. They're just that's their belief. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
No, I know what you mean.
but like I'm just saying the average person doesn't need to. I don't know. The average person should. I'm not saying you need to like be like on top of all the tech, but like if there's something that can absolutely make like your well-being
life easier.
that much easier, like you could write your truck off as a business expense. Not that you can't do that anyway, but you could probably even get like an economic tax break for it for your business. You know what I'm saying? Like people just need to like educate themselves on how to do like I could tell you things that make your head spin.
Apple
in terms
is
of
a
what you could get.
person. Apple is an entity.
Yeah.
Apple is like one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of the way the government views them.
Oh yeah.
Apple is one thingy that we have to pay a little extra attention to.
Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
yeah. iPhone.
This whole thing goes down to the comfort zone, though, with technology.
Yeah.
Your
mean, that's
phone's
true.
a tracking device. There's nothing in the vaccine that they can't
Oh boy, is the store
whatever
now?
I wanted to shoot a shot there, but it's just
You're welcome to. I
What
mean,
a-
hey, you're free to say what you want to say, man. That's by all means. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I'm a vaccinated human being. So are you. There's nothing. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've said. No, people have said like, aren't you are afraid of what's in it? And I said, you know, looking at you drinking, you know, look at a soda, like Red Dye number 6. What's that? You telling me you know what that is?
look at your liver.
Yeah, I mean, like you
No,
drink booze.
I'm just saying
You
I'm saying the
you
average
poison
person.
yourself, you know, every Friday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, you want to get technical about things. You know what I'm saying? And all preachy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, if you're worried about being
Alcohol's
tracked,
the
again,
devil.
take the phone out of your pocket and smash it too.
No, I didn't mean to do
That's
that,
fair.
but just in
That's
the sense
fair.
of
You're right.
in the sense of would I be vaccinated? Honestly, no.
No, that's fair
Because
too.
if I was in my given ideal like circumstance,
Yeah.
existentially, I'd be around people who I knew were smart and responsible.
Right.
I would be smart and responsible. I would try to limit and
yeah.
be very conservative with the contact. I knew who were
Right.
compromised. You know what I mean?
And that's
It goes
fair.
down to
I mean,
accountability.
That's fair, dude. And I mean, it does come down to accountability, and that is your opinion, man. But you did get vaccinated. You
Yep.
chose to. You know what I'm saying? It does make that. Like, I mean, if you want to, eventually, if you're gonna want to,
My
go
phone's been
anywhere,
working a lot better.
Yeah, if you want to, Jesus, the 5G's coming in real good. Oh my god.
Satire.
Yeah,
Satire.
it's a joke, guys. This episode's gonna get pulled off the internet. That's fine. Anyway.
It's been a joke.
Yeah, it's good. We had fun with it. But you know, Chappy, it's been awesome having you on, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Vaccines and no, I'm kidding. No, all other things aside, no, it's been good, and I appreciate you know, talking about growth with you and seeing how through common interest we've continued our friendship and you know continued to talk. I always like talk with you. That's why I wanted to have you on, you know, for this episode. It's just like you have a very interesting perspective, and like I said, it's not always one. Like I said, we covered a bunch of different topics. It's not always one set topic either. You know what I'm saying with you, especially we can cover a lot of different things, and I really do think that's interesting. You know, you don't if you have a one-track mind, you're gonna have a hard time with this episode. And I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Like,
I
just
apologize
like
for my undiagnosed
that's fine.
ADHD.
That's fine. Well, I think it might be diagnosed after this, but that's okay. Luke, get that certification going so you could diagnose Chap. No.
Call it living in the moment, people. I promise.
No, it is. But no, it is.
I'm just grateful to be here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate that, buddy. And so, you know, you're more than welcome to come back anytime. Thank you for coming on and being the first guest from outside of Maine to come onto the podcast. It's a big deal. We're outside of several states now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I can't believe I made it up here.
Yeah, I know. Like the old Honda made it up here, and so
Rhonda, baby.
Rhonda, baby.
A little black
Yeah,
beauty.
we took that to Bobby's wedding too.
Yeah.
You get the air condition fixed?
She's working a little bit better.
A little bit
She's
better
working
now.
a little bit better.
All right, Chappy.
Thank you for cool.
We'll wrap it up for today, buddy. I appreciate it for you for coming on for episode 9, and just like great to see you. Honestly, it's been a while, so I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Great to see you, my friend.
Excellent. Thank you, bud. All right, so this has been episode 9 of the DuView podcast with my special guest, Zach Chapman, and featuring Lucas Rushton on the side there. Thank you for coming on, Chappy, like I said again. And we'll be back at you in a couple weeks here into September. New month here. Last episode here for a while. Last episode here for not for a while, for August here. So we'll be back at you in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, have a good time, everybody. Make sure to stay up to date with everything on social media. Like I said, at DuView207 on Instagram, and the DuView podcast everywhere else. Not Instagram, just kidding. Jesus Christ. YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else. So we'll wrap this up for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.